Okay, so I am gonna do another video here, and this video actually concerns the house. You're gonna cut this off. This video actually concerns the house here on Krka, here in the city of the Novo Mesto. So this is the video that my niece doesn't want to hear, see, know it ever existed. This is the video that my mother doesn't want to know it ever existed. This is the video that my father has departed for into home for elderly people, rather than to face off with a complete eclipse. This is the video which is connected directly to the Novo Mesto police station. This is a video for which Andrei Štefanič personally, that's actually right here. We have a local here shithole known as Novo Mesto police station, a terrorist bunker, which they refer to as a police station where terrorists even insisted during MK Ultra, talking about Juršič, Štefanič. They insisted to my mother, to my father, to my sister, that this entire house, entire property belongs to none other than myself. Absolutely everything. By pointing out loans for the house, by pointing out how father got the land, by pointing out how father even made the deal with his sister in respect to the old house, which is located in Candia, in a Novo Mesto city, in a Candia. Actually, it's Trdinova. It's the house that I already have spoken about. Yes, we're gonna go here. That's a bridge. That's a Kandiski Most bridge. Then you go. No. We go here, here. Yes, like this. That's that little intersection which takes you to the city. And our old house used to be located right here, up here, like this. You come here, and yeah, in the middle of this little portion of the street here, block, I should say, there is this little house here, which what is it? Dedic. Let me see this. I was so long time I was not in the US. The two inherited this house. That's basically my father and his sister Marlenka, who is located in Maribor. However, and this is a fact of the matter, heirs. The fact of the matter is that I was tortured, bestially tortured for years in respect to the sale of his sister portion of the house to the father. And that portion of the house that was supposed to be sold with a great discount to my father assisted my father greatly next to the loans that he obtained, all done through MK Ultra case. I did not build only the house on Krka village through the torture that was done on me, but I remember entire stuff that went on also in Maribor, where his sister Marlenka and her husband Milislav Pejovic from Montenegro started their new life. It was all about the loans. Money was falling from the sky like there is no fucking yesterday. but everything was done through the torture. Now, I would not even talk about any of this stuff, but today I was cleaning for, definitely for the first time on my own, this entrance area here, because I was like a ghost, because in this house where I used to be, I was here just so they could spit on me, insult me, mistreat me. When I didn't have the money that I could go buy myself a rubber shoes, and father has a boat down next to the river, there is sometimes floods where the boat is located and it's necessary to clean the area and so on. I couldn't even go and clean and do the stuff that they wanted me to do. And I wanted also to do, because I didn't even have the shoes that I could wear, that I could put on my feet. And it's interesting because I was called everything but human being, but both mom, father, sister had her own ways to add to depression and so on. And the thing about it is that during MK Ultra, when there were MK Ultra sessions, torture sessions, father even admitted that he will not buy me those shoes, rubber shoes, because he rather see me doing nothing. This is the way it is. And so, I was all wet today and yesterday, and there was almost no snow, but everything's so wet, snow. And the worst thing is the stuff that I have, that I wear. For this type of stuff, I don't have anything really. Mother actually reminded me that a few years ago I bought some shoes here at the local store, which I have in a storage, and those are the shoes that I should actually use for this stuff. She was right. I completely have forgotten about those. The thing is that my mom keeps talking about that I'm practically nobody here. The attitude they had during MK Ultra was such that she will sell the house, go to home for elderly people, that kind of stuff. She's extremely unhappy at this place. Even that she has everything, absolutely more than everything. She keeps talking that my sister share, that's what they claim, that she died recently in 2025. They claim that my sister's daughter share of this property is equal to mine. So, I wanted to have a talk about this stuff this morning with my mom. I saw some crazy stuff that she is doing. She deliberately removes the buckets from the terrace so that the water could drop on the terrace, which was discussed with the police, that I should watch, that I should do, because the water is leaking out. That was more than 6-7 years ago. They were talking to me about this stuff 10 years. Yet nobody, not mom, not father, they have too much money. They would not go and fix absolutely anything. They demanded me to go fix it without any fucking penny, without anything. She doesn't want to pay for anything. She doesn't want to pay to fix the fence. She doesn't want to pay to clean the stairs toward the river. She doesn't want to fucking pay anything where the work could be done. Absolutely anything. And claims, after they have with police infested my room with moths, that I destroyed entire house because I moved from one room to another, which was part of MK Ultra brainwash, designed also to remind me of the police which was barricaded inside of the house and have spent time with me in rooms other than my room and kitchen. They didn't want me to recall the stuff that went on inside of the house with the police. And so the police, they would use also rooms which my father would lock or would completely occupy, like the one inside of the living room area where I am at right now. Shit. this thing was on, and the video is just so fucking good. So I was talking about this house here. This is our house here, and I was also talking about this shithole here they refer to as a police station, and I was talking about this house here on Trdinova. I don't want to go and make story too damn long. The story is not story. The fact of the matter is that these people just really hate me. My father was told if he is not going to go into home for elderly people based on the police plan, that I could inherit the whole thing based on what I stated. That the proofs, any kind of proofs, are on a way to my niece, Urska Golob Weber, and her husband, Mitja Weber. And the option, therefore, that should be removed and etc. for the benefit of my niece is going to spoil the whole picture. That's how they got the father completely intoxicated. With my mother, they don't even have to worry about, because she didn't want me anywhere in the picture anyways. They already made the reservations, and inside of the psychiatric hospital, and inside of the home for elderly people, and all kinds of stuff. They were going to get rid of me in a really most disgusting way. So, I am making claim today that the house that you see right there, half of the house that you see right there, that my aunt have sold to my father. She's from Maribor. Her last name is now Pejovic. Marlenka Pejo. We're going to put the soft C, Sh. There you go. Not only that I purchased practically that portion of the house through the torture, but I also purchased her apartment and the lands they had built their housing on in the city of the Maribor. They were involved in torture, they were involved in mega torture, they were involved in killing for the sake of their real estate. Talking about the cousin Mladen Pejovic, talking about especially I'm talking about another cousin that I have, and her name is Ksenia Pejovic. Those are a son and daughter from my aunt Marlenka Pejovic, who is located in Maribor. Maribor is a city that is kind of located quite far on the other side of the Slovenia. These people have managed nothing in life other than torture. Everything they accomplished was a torture. They literally accomplished to position their son, therefore the son of Marlenka Pejovic, through the torture, utterly into United States of America, into the NBA. Got the trainers for a basketball, and etc. Life was nothing other than a torture, primary for the family. Yeah, this is an MK Ultra case, and we're going to come to the bottom of this MK Ultra case. We're going to come to the bottom of this MK Ultra case the way it's properly done. And everything starts with the family, and with the family is the one that is going to get the biggest blow here. You're going to be sued for the torture, for the bestiality performed on me, for making me feel like a ghost in what otherwise should have been my home. It's not even about the house and housing. And even for attempt to completely destroy me, delete me, wipe me off face of the earth, throw me in some facility for mentally disabled, ill, that kind of stuff. That's why, you see, now we are talking business. Now we are talking about something I told my mom earlier today. I told her, you know, Mama, I cleaned this driveway today, and that was not really the purpose. I said, but I told her it's never going to be like this again. Because I wanted to gain her feedback about how she feels about the house. This is the first time I took initiative about ownership of this property, about this house. And it's not about only this house, it's also about the house which is located on Trdinova. Never did this before. And I told her, it's never going to be like this again. I said, I cleaned everything this for you and so on. She said the niece is going to come to pick her up. I said, let's go a little bit later. I was cleaning. I couldn't sleep. I have a problem, health problems. And, she said to me, niece is going to come to pick me up. I already have arranged with her and so on. And I said to her, Mom, I said, never is going to be like this as before. I clean this stuff, and I want her to understand that I'm cleaning because I'm taking initiative about this house. It's not like a ghost anymore, is what I try to tell her. You're never going to see me like a ghost again. Then I started the conversation about, you told me that my niece, without any kind of provocation, without absolutely anything that I would mention to her, because it's all audio recorded, she was always using these issues to depress me, to remind me of the nightmares during MK Ultra, or how I am nobody and nothing, and you go and this and that. And I told her, I said to her, and by the way, I asked her, how did you pay for the loans for this house? How did the father pay for his portion of the house to Marlenka Pejovic, the one from Maribor, his sister? This is a Sasha Pejovic here. Let me demonstrate to you. They bought themselves these luxurious villas over there in the US. And all kinds of villas, luxurious villas. And what's interesting about this stuff is I was tortured in Maribor, in Slovenia, in Novo Mesto. I was tortured in United States of America so they could buy themselves villas, so they could get money and so on. There was no end to this bestiality performed on me. I refer to him as a Serbian player. No. Montenegro, Podgorica. Jakša Pejovic. Sasha Pejovic. There you go. He's a... Is this even the right guy? These people, they would never come here for a visit. These people don't come for a visit. The son from my cousin Mladenko Pejovic, he was coming inside of this house to death threaten to kill me in front of my father and stuff like this. He was coming here basically claiming that I killed his father, Mladen, and stuff like that. This, you know what a terrorist is? Folks, this is the kind of stuff. Let me ask you, what would you do to your cousin if he would come inside of your home and would come with idea to torment you, to torture you, to guarantee you that he's going to kill you, claim you that you killed his father and stuff like this, through some kind of MK Ultra procedure? What would you do? What would you do? Because there's nothing you can do. Because if you call the police and you say that this happened, they're going to say, when did it happen? Do you have any proofs? And you're going to say, it's an MK Ultra this happened. What they do is they throw you into an ambulance vehicle. What would you do to a person like this that would do this kind of stuff to you? That would terrorize you, do stuff like this? What would you do to the guy like this? How do you get even with the people like this that do stuff like this? This is about the disrespect. This is about something completely different, isn't it? My father was weird during MK Ultra, and in real time, I think he was scared like a shit. It's a smaller guy, definitely, but I'm no longer going to defend him. I don't think I could do this to my own son, that I could see things like this. This is not. This is... Am I actually mistaking him for another cousin? I don't know. I really do not know. These people never appear. This is like the neighbors here. He said to me, the neighbor right next door, he said to me, I haven't seen these neighbors here for ages. The only one who came to visit one time to collect the money actually was this one here, who was is a criminal who was involved in MK Ultra for 45 years, man, if not more than that. I did spoke about him. That's Yerman Metot, his cousin, some people. I saw his cousin, that was Zdenko Yerman, from this house here, with the police van, like the way he would deliver me, like a cattle, basically, from Ljubljana, Krško area. He moved from here to other direction, toward Krško area. He put the flashlights as I was gonna go. I was doing an exercise up the stairs. I don't know how long ago was this, like a year ago or something like that, or 2 years ago, I don't know. I logged that in the blog, and so that I would come out and see what's going on, and then I see that it's him. They just, I haven't seen these fucking people. You don't understand. Even when I came back from the U.S., even when I all involved in MK Ultra, though, in very bad things. They told me, you're never going to see us in real time, because if you would see us on a real time, you would immediately recall about the stuff that went on. This is the way it was. This is the way things are. And the same shit with his cousins. They just, it wouldn't even help me out, all right, to meeting them. It wouldn't help me out in absolutely any way, because of the reasons that I stated. What good is it to you if they do the stuff like this when police says the MK Ultra doesn't exist? I mean, the climax of the violence is located here, in this place. And you were able to hear. The MK Ultra does not exist. The MK Ultra is a telepathic communication with the police officers. This was a definition of the Andrei Štefanič, basically. If I summarize the whole meeting from the police station, I can summarize one in one statement. Telepathic communication with the police officers. That's it. Never again anybody is going to be extorting me about whether this is my home, whether I belong here or I don't belong here, or who pays the bills or who did not pay the bills, or whose house this is, with whose house the share is of this and that and so on. I'm gonna sue the fuck out of you for the torture that you performed on me, and even for money that you obtained through the loans, land that you purchased here, and the share of the house that you got through the special discount from the sister, which obtained housing in Maribor, literally through the torture. And it was the same shit, and for her daughter and for his son and so on and so forth. I ain't gonna be fucking arguing with you. I'm done arguing with you. here is what you can hear the mom. That's what I want to hear. This is a notice that you have been notified about my attempt to sue you for the torture, and I'm giving you a notice about practically you're isolating me inside of the house to make me feel like a foreigner, like nobody and nothing. I'm never going to forget what my father did to me here. When he had a birthday in 2012 with the neighbors, he went out here and celebrated. And I was doing this stuff, trying to get the assistance from UN, writing down the stuff that was done. Mad, 3/4 I was insane here from the brainwash the police did, tortured it on me together with the family. And he went out here in this heat, right here in front of the window, like this. And with my niece, they started to make Dear and Die with the sister. They make themselves loud and enjoy and this and that. They didn't take any kind of attention to the stuff I was going through. They exactly the opposite, based on MK Ultra. They wanted to get me inside a psychiatric hospital. I'm never going to forget when the neighbor, Sonia Kotar, stated to me, never going to forget this stuff. Never going to forget this stuff here. It's actually recorded. I video recorded this stuff. Sveto Gradišar, psychiatrist, whom I have also recorded, demanded for those recordings to be deleted. Those recordings, however, were uploaded to the Daily Motions, YouTube, and so on. She told me, sorry, this is not her house. This is from Andrei Ul. What is it? Yeah. This is from Kotar house. She said to me, "You are a nobody here. This is not your home. Don't you understand? You're nobody. You are completely nobody. You are nothing. This is not your home." This is what she said. That's a wife from a doctor, Igor Kotar. They made a complete agreement with a husband, also in a parenthesis, a doctor, on how they are gonna just wipe me from the face of the earth, like so that I would not even exist, basically. Never gonna forget when they said to me, "This is not your home, you don't belong here, they don't want you here," and so on and so forth. Such a hostility, based on which they even filed psychiatric charges against me when I came out, and I said, "Hey, by the way, I don't know what I told them. Did I told them? I don't actually recall what I told them. Maybe I told them to go home. I have no idea what I told them. Maybe I even told them to go home. Maybe I told them to tune down, to be more respectful. I have no idea what I told them. Isn't it bad enough already that the person that lives here, that is your son, that is not participating on your birthday party? Can you actually, as a father, be inside of the home and not have your children, that for whom you know that they suffer inside, not participate on your birthday? I mean, never again anybody's going to make me feel like a ghost on this property. And this property, you're not going to only this property. It's not about this property. It's also about the torture, physical torture, physical health-wise that impacted me, poisoning included, and psychological damages that have been done. Life completely destroyed, erased. That, based on which I'm going to trigger the persecution against you. I'm going to give you a taste, a feeling of making people feel like they don't belong in this world. It wasn't about me belonging to this place, but literally belonging on this place, on the world. Like you don't have the right to exist, practically. I am going to amplify this a little bit. It's still not good enough. I had this conversation with her today. For me, it's very, very important. I don't know, but for me, this is very, very important. I said to her, you said to me the other day, and I wrote this even on the blog, that my niece, completely unprovoked, she said, she has the same share of the house as you have. And that's what I said. You said to me the other day that I was just done talking about, as I told you, about how the driveway never ever is going to be dirty again from the snow and that kind of stuff. She said, a driveway never was dirty from the snow because I cleaned the driveway and so on. Even the police, in parentheses, officers were cleaning the driveway, the snow. Even that kind of stuff we had, the neighbors and so on. Even that kind of stuff we have during MK Ultra. But I had to pay for it through the torture. No, this is actually real. In parentheses, police officers, animal from Novo Mesto police station. They didn't tell me this during MK Ultra to make things easy for me. They wanted to intensify things. They wanted these statements to come out. These statements are coming out, except they are coming out now. When I say they're coming out now, yes, they are coming out now. If these statements would come out of me earlier, when I didn't have the proofs about MK Ultra, I would be dead. They would have killed me, clearly. So, the first thing she says, she says to me, you said to me that that's a more craziness. She's insane. She's completely sick. I said to her, you said to me that my niece, Urska Golob Weber, has the same share of the house as I do, right? And she said, yes. And I said to her, do you know who the real owner of this house is? And she says to me, it's father. Oh, that's fucking insane. How the hell could the father be owner of this house when she was demonstrating me papers which clearly indicate and demanded from me to acknowledge that the new owner of the house is my mother? She just said it's a father. I didn't even notice that stuff. That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. She claims that the owner of the house now is father. Why is she saying that the owner of the house is father? Because I exposed her plan to sell the house, relocate to the city, that kind of stuff. This is what they claim with the police during MK Ultra. I don't think they had intention to ever sell this house. I think their intention was something else. So she says that the father is the owner of the house. And this is something that I always claimed all along, that he is the owner of the house. You didn't see me on a videos talking to the father that his home is here. There is a bunch of videos that I have to post on the internet, but I did not post them. But I keep talking to the father during my visits when I was breaking the spine to rehabilitate him, to make him walk. To say to him, I repeated to him, he repeated to me that he doesn't have a home, that he does not know where his home is, and so on. Very nice. But I keep repeating to him that his home is here at Krka and so on. That's what I was doing. It's proofs. It's all audio recorded. It's video recorded. It's only the stuff that I did not put on the internet. So now the mom is saying that the father is the owner. That's strange. She was talking practically to me, behaved based on MK Ultra scenario that the new owner of the house, she is the one. But let's continue with this. I tell my mother, the owner of this house is the one through whom my father obtained half of the ownership which belonged to his sister Marlenka, Huh? And the owner of this house, because naturally when he sold the house, he didn't have to make a payout to his sister, because he already got her share transferred on his name. You understand me what I'm trying to say? And so I continue. I said, well, that means that when he sold the money, he sold the house in the city, he got all the money, and he was free to do with money from entire house as pleased. And I said to him, I said to her, the owner of this house is the one through whom you with the father obtained loans. Yeah. Loans. For the purchase of this house. Therefore, for the purchase of this house, and there was plenty money that they were still left with. They sold the house in the city, and they used the loans. The owner of this house, I told her, is the one to whom you are going to pay the interest rates. Because he was a ghost inside of this house. The owner of the house is the one whom you were beating up so you could get yourself a loans, transfer yourself shares of the houses, and even build yourself homes in other side of the Slovenia, Maribor. Today, this is a notice to you that you have been informed about my intentions, about my steps I will take personally against you. Nothing really is yours here. You owe here for the torture, for the stuff that you have done to me. Today, it's a different day. It's a Christmas. And I tell her, I'm going to also remind you why you placed the father inside of the home for elderly people. Samo trenutek. I don't know what I said even here. What the hell I say here? She says, so who is the owner? I still don't know who is the owner. I said to her, you're going to see who the owner is. She says, this is for the morning, for the Christmas morning. I say, tell me, when did the father make prepis? Prepis is something that you do to basically transfer of her part of the property, of this property in the city, on his name. When did he make the transfer of her portion of the house to his name? Well, he doesn't tell any of this stuff. This is not a problem at all. Milis was a husband from my aunt Marlenka, and he was an animal. He tortured, and at the end, when he got everything in Maribor, whatever the hell he needed, and he got more than what he needed with his children, he cursed me out and said that he would have never sold my father for the money, the share of the house in the Novo Mesto city, in this old house, for the money the way he did, if he knew that I was such a son of a bitch. He so cursed me out, I'm never going to forget this stuff. The man died away. He died. Before he died, he even promised me He even promised me that I'm gonna die just like he did. He had a problem with blood pressure. He was involved. This was probably the most. This was an individual. Well, these were animals, literally beasts. But the entire family was like this. They needed to buy whatever the hell they needed to buy, whether that was in Bela Krajina or that was in Ptuj or that was in Maribor. They wanted to rip me apart, man. Whether it was for the land, for the property, cars, wherever the fuck it was. These people were doing they were doing a killing. And demanded for me to feel like a shit, like the one that does not exist, basically. I don't think that in my life I'm gonna need the money for this house. I think that I'm gonna make it pretty good, this thing. But because you're such a son of a bitch, because you're so son of a bitch, evil, because of what you have done to me, it matters to me more than anything in this world. You know, it means to me more than anything in this world to demonstrate the world that it did happen. And for me, it did happen means that you're gonna have to pay the worst price that one can pay. Scum. That's why. I don't believe in anything else. By the way, I heard that Mike Tyson purchased the home over there in Florida. Big news. Mike Tyson, it was also on my Facebook timeline, appeared Mike Tyson, Florida home. This here, Mike Tyson, Florida home, new home in Florida. The thing is, Mike Tyson, this property that you see right there, started to purchase the properties already in 2006. And the property that you see here, he did have me in similar properties to this one here. But this property that you see right there, I believe he definitely already owned in 2013. If the property existed in 2008, which I do believe that property already existed in 2008, then Mike Tyson also owned this property already in 2008. If not, it was other properties that were using to confuse me on this. You can say, but that's impossible because it's a title transfer. I used to sell the real estate. My middle finger is to your impossible. Okay? Mega torture, mega bestiality here performed in this area of Delray Beach, West Palm Beach area, right in front of Bahamas. Mega torture project, bestiality. Since me personally, I believe that he lived here already since 2006. If he did not live here already since 2006, I think there was an older house here from what I recall, and that house was taken down, and there is a new property that he actually built over there. The old house was in a shit, not really shit, but not in a good state. Okay, whether he was doing this vacationally, like, you know, seasonally, I do not know. I recall him having one family, I think, that he had some kind of a family over there. I remember in some high rise that when he would come to pick me up on another location, along the German road is where they tortured me. It demonstrated me actually even a location earlier. when I went to look for that location on the Google Maps, I was pretty much taken exactly to the street where that actually took place. It doesn't matter right now. The way they do this stuff in respect to these titles, in respect to this real estate and so on, I'm not going to say that almost the same was done with the Jake Paul. I did wrote about how Jake Paul already negotiated purchase of his, I think he just recently purchased the mega farm project, super project. They negotiated this shit already, my goodness, 10 something years ago, 15 years ago, this stuff. Matches with one another, boxing matches and so on, MMA matches and so on. This is the stuff I have not spoken about. So yeah, you can transfer the title officially in 2025, but that doesn't mean that you did not live there. Now, I actually believe that he did not live there because it's a new housing project. The project, one moment, the project that I see it here, this house here, this was built, I think, sometimes in, I don't know, man. The old property was taken down, and I think that he told me like 2016 that this housing project came up. Let's go back to this stuff here. Let's go back to this stuff here. Let's go to the recording here. I reminded her about the stuff that went on also in Maribor, what they were doing with me, how you were purchasing your stuff and so on. She says, yeah, okay. This is a Christmas, she says. I told her, just so that you know who the real owner of this house is. This audio maybe even asserts that I am possessive or something like this. And this goes to tell me why my mother was so rude with the father toward me when it comes to the house, when it comes to the who the owner of the house is. Now, what exactly would this house do to me? This house will not do to me shit. This house, if this house was transferred on my name, would cause me a lot of troubles. It would have been completely useless for me. It would actually, this house would destroy me. It would destroy me because I never would be capable to own this house under the circumstances as I am. Now, the police did know about this stuff. I told you about that, the one who started this topic, about the loans, about even about the transfer of my aunt's share portion of the old house to the father who paid her out. They wanted this stuff because they wanted to create the theory that I was behind the father's hospitalization. You know, they wanted to portray me as somebody who was so nasty to him that it was better off for him to go inside of the home for elderly people, inside of the hospital, and so on. This is the dialogue, this is the way they edited, regissered, make the scenario to portray me, to solve this, in a parenthesis, crime case. This is how Herr Štefanič, Andrei, wanted to solve this with Igor Juršič. Janez Ogulin was behind this, a good friend of my father. This is how they wanted to do it. But now, because of the such overwhelming report about the stuff that went on, that's going to be very difficult thing to prove. Won't be. I understand why my mom was so rough throughout my entire life with me. I understand why she was so possessive and so diabolic when it comes to, I would not even go to pick up the apple. I would not even go to pick up the fucking strawberry or peaches. Father told me, I don't want to, this is not your peaches, this is not your apples, this is not this, and so on, this kind of stuff. It's difficult for persons, such a hostility. It's very, 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 very difficult. And it would be impossible to resist, to stress what I finally stressed to my mommy on December the 25th of 2025. It would fucking start. If I would record this shit earlier, I would not even go into it. I would not talk about that stuff. Simply because if I would not have proofs about MK Ultra, it would be lethal, suicidal stuff. Now, I said this house would not, yeah, they would, you know, he's doing this kind of stuff. He said that his house is, this is his house, and so on, and this kind of stuff. Look, this house, if I own this house, I don't have any kind of income. I don't have a fucking job. Anything I could pay for the taxes or anything. You understand me what the fuck I'm saying? This isn't because I would want to feel my mom that she's not welcome here. Even though that I said I'm going to get her arrested and either jailed or institutionalized, and I continue to claim this. Still, she is the one who has enough income to pay for taxes. Basically, call it a maintenance of the house, even that she doesn't want to invest, not even in fixing the fence and stuff like this, basic stuff. That's how she likes it. That's how she wants it. She told me that I destroyed the entire house. How that will be possible, I don't know. I told her, you don't even allow me to leave the fucking bucket on a terrace. It's water that is leaking from the roof and stuff like that. And it's the stuff that you have discussed already with me. Not gonna say in front of me, as I should say, it was done in front of me because it was indirectly between them, and the same time interrogated me so that I could understand their issue. But I told her, I said, look, I said, but I put the fucking bucket, and bucket doesn't cost anything. So that water that drips from this roof would not go through the plate and destroy this cement stuff and so on. You don't even allow this, I told mommy. I said, why? Why don't you allow this kind of stuff? I just understand the importance of logging absolutely everything that is happening around the house, documenting, because this is what police was doing. This is what mother is religiously following up on, their agreements. And I understand why is it so important to document absolutely everything as this so-called MK Ultra case is moving forward. No, man, if you're not allowed to work, if you're not allowed to exist other than on a state ID, you're going to be better off without any fucking house that anybody gives you, any kind of property, because if they do that stuff, they give you that only because they know that you don't have the money to pay, so they can grab it. Either they do this stuff or they do it for I don't know other reason really. So I don't know, that you would sell it on your own and maybe something like that, which is stupid shit. I'm the person who never sells my stuff, especially not when it comes to house, real estate or something like this, unless I want to. And this has just happened. So this is a house from my parents, from my father and from my mother. A home is what I call this, despite everything. And this house never going to be sold to anybody. That's one of the things I can say. Nobody's going to get this house. As long as I live, nobody's going to get this house. But there will be a lawsuits involving this house and prior house etc., etc., etc. I told my mom, and father will return back home to his home. He is... How the fuck can you not do stuff to yourself and to your own son like this? How could it be so fucking crazy? I mean, what they did out of my father, and I'm saying this for his sake, to ease in the circumstances, criminal circumstances that implicate him into it, is just incredible, man. The guy fucking threw himself on a fucking deathbed like this so that police could do their share for the sake of my niece and mommy and so on. Out of question. The real owner of the house, I am. My sister never contributed to the house, not even 1 fucking cent. You understand? And on top of it, I was not even a human being here. I was a ghost in this house. I don't know for how many years since this house existed here. And the same shit was in a house prior to that. So, no, it's not about that. This house can stay on my mom's name and on my father's name as long as they live. As a matter of fact, as long as... I don't know, I said that my mom, I'm not going to give her a chance no more. I want my father back home. My mom has to learn about one thing, and this is what I did not. I started about Mike Tyson, and I did not complete. Yeah, Mike Tyson finished that house in 2016. I remember that stuff now. The new house. The old one went down, and he put the new house over there. That's his money that finished that through some company that he made the contract with so that it would not be under his name, whichever way the fuck he did this. He purchased the house basically, to put it plain and simple, through somebody else, whoever the owner of the house was, you know. And that somebody, whoever that was, might have only come there to pick up the mail or something like that in that sense. This is what I think it was. Or it's also possible he was a seasonal visitor, that kind of stuff. Mike Tyson was a frequent resident of, the girl from whichever company was the one that sold him this property, this house, told me in 2013, if I'm not happy that Mike Tyson became a resident of the, I don't know what the fuck is that, West Palm Beach, Delray Beach, whatever. Meaning that as if he purchased that maybe in 2013, or maybe there was some other property over there. He claims only to have 2 properties. I remember the apartment building. I remember some other houses also. There is a proof about MK Ultra. That's what you like. The thing is, I was saying to myself, and I was wrong. That's what angered me. That's what angered me. What got attention from Mike Tyson was the torture that was performed in his housing project. In what I believe was the house that might have been the house that was there before. And I think I already discussed that with Mike Tyson anyways. I think that he told me that that house where I was tortured inside will not be there. There will be a new house. He thought about it. I told him, you're going to move to a house where you tortured me, and I should be interested how you're going to live basically in a house where you tortured me. Basically, I should be happy for you that you purchased the house in which you tortured me. That means that your I am sorry, whatever, I apologize, doesn't have any fucking meaning. It's fucking meaningless. This is why I started this issue about Mike Tyson. Just as an example. Yeah, to say somebody, hey man, I'm sorry, fuck you. Or, I regret the stuff I did. There are 2 different meanings. It depends really on the meaning. No, the money doesn't pay really for certain stuff. This is the way it is. This is the way it is. Money doesn't pay for everything. It pertains to the way they see you as a human being. Basically, you're like fucking air. Today you're here, I beat you up, I collect the money, terrorize you, traumatize you. You can't stand up on your feet because you didn't get nights. God knows how long when it was the last time you went and you got sleep, you poisoned, and so on. My God, you can fucking fell dead at any time right in front of me. And it means to me shit, basically. I continue to live there, I continue to feel good with these ghosts inside of the home after committing atrocity inside. You know, that's fucking weird. That's fucking weird for me. I mentioned Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson was... Just today I got this, it popped up on a timeline on a Facebook, and I was thinking about this, how the fuck you view on things like that, you know. So, sometimes in 2012, 2013, he wanted to make me feel good. He presented me the project that he's going to take the house down. Yeah, he was fair enough to tell me that too. And that he's not going to leave with the ghosts, with the stuff that obviously he did to me in the house which was there. It was such a bestial shit torture, a lot of torture. I was also saying to myself, what the fuck, the police, the regular police officers get to see the world like this. How one life of the police officer can be quite interesting, or one psychiatrist and people like this that travel around the world like luxus like this. It can be quite interesting. Anyhow, this is just for me to declare that I am not a nobody. This house exists here because of me. And I am going to leave that stuff alone because it's a hypocrisy. My father is going to have to explain to police. He claimed that what he claimed me when I took him for a walk here at Giro, that his house is at the Tardinovo over there. In the old house, he recalled, he was pretending that he had, based on MK Ultra scenario, that he has amnesia, that he has a problem with the memory. And when I was visiting him, he kept saying that he doesn't remember nothing about this home and stuff like this. He's got a lot of stuff to explain. The way they did this with the father, the way they performed on him brain surgery is fucking unprecedented. That guy can actually envision himself in such a fucked up, mentally retarded role as he did. I do not understand any of it. I would be more than pleased to have father around here. It made me depressed. I gained weight, everything from worries and so on. From the stuff, from the traumas they did to me during MK Ultra, inside a home for elderly people and so on. It completely traumatized me. But it was a nurse Yanko, the animal over there from Home for Elderly People, who was right here inside of this room talking to the daddy, and he said to my father, he said to me, in front of the father, he was explaining, like he was a mafioso or something like that. Yeah, you know, he was saying to me how this case is gonna end and how this is gonna all look like. And it was building a conspiracy theory inside of my father's head, who, however, saw himself in fucking movies about the mafia and so on, presented to the father by using me. He was explaining in my father, right next to me, how they want this case to look like, that is going to be through all kinds of strange circumstances before this is going to come out, with your father in the hospital. Like usually the secrets are kept. This is no fucking secrets. And my father was, yeah, secrets. He's going to be like a secret, so like a god over there, you know, like a Talili, you know, majesty, you know, his majesty Talili, that you're gonna try to get the truth out, and it's gonna depend on the Talili. Boy, you're gonna get fucking handcuffed for the stuff that you do if you don't gonna fucking tell the way things were. I told him about that stuff. You won't fucking tell about your associates from Novo Mesto police station, where you even reported yourself to the meetings with Janez Ogulin, Igor Juršič, Štefanič, a funny man. You're gonna be in a lot of fucking trouble. They poison him. They completely make him crazy to see himself in some kind of like a fucking movie. Like how this is gonna be through all kinds of mysterious ways and so on and stuff like that. Stupid, beyond stupid. Janko is gonna have to explain himself about making brain surgery to my father in respect to how this is going to look mysteriously, how he's going to be at home, an old man and stuff like that, like some kind of a Italian mafia style, something like that. You're going to get fucking wake up call, hey boy. The way you're playing with this stuff, it's very bad for you. And today I'm reminding you that there was no share that existed ever in respect to the old house in the Novo Mesto, nor in this one here. She was born to this family, but the loans, as well as the payout for the house in the city, was literally arranged through the torture done on me. Plus that, I did not even exist inside of beyond 10 square meters I got over there. When I came out, when they declared that father had a birthday outside, I told them, making themselves more than at home here. I was told, you're not even at home here. You're nobody. You don't belong here. They don't want you here. That kind of stuff. Here is the audio. I'm going to play you one more time, so that's not going to be any kind of mistakes. Never ever this place, you understand? Never ever. You understand? This place never ever is going to be the same. Never ever is going to be the same, this place. You're never going to make me feel like a shit here again. You are doing this all my fucking life to me. Never ever you're going to be doing this again. It's easy to build any fucking house when you get the fucking money. The money is what matters. I would have been built under normal circumstances 1,000 houses like this one here. It's easy. When you have a job, when they give you loans, when they give you the stuff, it's not a big deal. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is, it's not good. Let me give you a total translation of this. You said that my niece, Urska, has the same share in this house as I do. Yeah, that will be based on my sister. Let's increase this a little bit like this. Let's do it again. She repeated to me twice that the owner of the house is my father. And I said to her, the owner of this house is the one through whom I was tortured. I was the one who was tortured. And I was tortured for like many years. 10 more years in the name of the old house. I was tortured probably for about 15 years in the name of the old house. It doesn't matter when the house was transferred. That shit does not fucking matter. This is like I would be talking about the house title for Mike Tyson. When you have MKUltra case, everything is done mafia way. Police is mafia, that is correct. I told her, through whom? Through whom? Let's do it again. So, through whom a father obtained transfer, basically a title transfer, which was half of the house belonged to his sister from Maribor, Marlenka. And she was the one who sold him her share. But everything was based on torture. He got that for what I was told, a discount, great discount. And I did explain about their properties in Maribor. The owner of this house is the one through whom you and father obtained loans for the purchase of this house. And the owner of the house is the one for whom, I don't know, you were paid with the interest rates or whatever, so that he was a ghost inside of this house. Milan Kuchon paid so that I could be ghost, so that I did not exist here. My father complained that he suffered because of me. He, his house, his property and so on. This is what they brainwashed me. But the fact of the matter is that he got paid so that I could be a ghost inside of this house. That's a fact of the matter. So I told mom further, the owner of the house is the one whom you are beating up to get loans, etc., for this house. That's the owner. And I'm going to remind you also why you placed the father inside and there, inside of the home for elderly people. I think I said I am not going to give you anything for free. She keeps asking me, who is this owner? Who is this owner? I said to her, you're going to see who the owner is. I don't say that I'm the owner. I didn't say that. I said, you're going to see who the owner is. I said, you all going to see who the owner is. She continued to repeat herself that she still doesn't know who the owner is. Oh yes, Maria Pomagaj. This is for the good morning, for the Christmas. For the Christmas morning, we have this. I don't give a fuck what she's saying. I asked her, when did the father make the transfer of the old house from half of the house from his sister to him? When that happened? When did they complete the transaction? She says, no, he did not. She doesn't want to tell anything. She doesn't want to answer. She says no. She is acting fucking stupid based on investigation which animals from Novo Mesto police station already completed. She's doing everything according to the police scenario. Every issue they investigated, talked about it, arranged about it already, well ahead, prepared themselves for what we have today right there. They anticipated this is going to break out. He sold the house.
Malenka mu je dala, ker je Nilis je še jokal, da če bi vedel, da sem jaz tak, da ne bi nikoli v četu pomagal in tako naprej. Smo imeli v Mariboru garbo zato, da se barabe tam kupovali se. Ja. Zdaj samo tukaj, da veš, kdo je lastnik te hiše.
I told her beating me up in a Maribor so they could buy themselves properties. She says Aunt Marlenka did not give him anything. Yes, of course she did not give him anything. He paid her out, but she gave him a discount based on torture performed on me. She says again, this is a Christmas morning. This is for the Christmas morning. She doesn't want to tell anything. My mommy doesn't want to tell anything. Hear nothing, know nothing, nothing. I told her, you're never going to tell me again what my sister Biserka and Urska and so on. You're never gonna talk to me about this stuff again. Yeah, I was always shit, and they were, and I did not even exist. Urska, my niece, is based on Biserka. You're nothing. I don't know what she said. Let me hear this again. If she said this. No. She's heir, based on my sister, just like you are. I told her, you're gonna see what kind of a heirs you are. And I say, the father, she doesn't want, my mother doesn't want father at home. This is why my mom has a problem. I tell her, and the father still is going to come home. Nothing is over. So, that's all it is. I'm going to play you this stuff one more time, and that's all there is to it. Oh, yeah, I want this to be recorded. Nobody's fucking stupid here. You did a lot of bad stuff, but you're going to be held responsible for this stuff. You're not going to get away with it. Not my family, not animals from Novo Mesto police station, not psychiatrists, not a neighbors, nobody, no family member who was involved in it, and they were all involved in bestiality. None of you is going to get away with it. You're watching Außer Times, the news outlet which promised me I shouldn't even use, is hosted by blogger by Google, whose founders told me I shouldn't even ever advertise Google on my videos. I should have never used Google Außer Times on any of my videos. Yet you continue to see me doing just that. Sergei Mihailovich, Brian, Larry Page both promised me will take absolutely everything about me, any trace from the Google network. Google will not leave any trace of your existence. That's exactly what you're watching. And they returned back to ask me, why am I still using Google Außer Times? I wouldn't give them an answer for some time. I was laughing at them during MKUltra, and finally did explain them that simply because they say it, that doesn't mean that they're going to be owners of the Google. That doesn't mean that my advertising of Google Außer Times one day is not going to have its meaning. I promise it too, that entire Google corporation, because of the case itself, one day eventually will be in my hands. And not as the way they suggested, but in 100%. Then they understood why I continued to use the phrase Google outer times, and heard it in the pens of Bill Gates and others such as Yahoo, whatever search engines, to break the deal with them, to do the same thing, to delete me so they wouldn't see me. I don't have anything else I would say about this stuff. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play this one more time. That's all. Thanks for watching this video. Till next time.
Preko koga je fotor dobil prepis tiste stare hiše in lastnik tiste te hiše tukaj je tist, preko koga ste vi z očetom dobila posojila za nakup te hiše in lastnik te hiše je tist, koga boste plačali z obrestmi, ki je bil tukaj duh noter do danes, do leta 2024. Tisto je lastnik. Tist, katerega ste garbali, da so dobili posojila, denar pa take stvari. Tisto je lastnik. In tudi vam tudi spomnil, zakaj ste očeta tam noter dali. Ne bo pomagalo nič.
Kdo pa je bolj ta lastnik? Je še vedno ne.
Pa še vedno, kdo je lastnik.
Ja, je še vedno ne.
Kdo pa se ve, kdo je lastnik? Aha.
To je za dobro jutro na Božič. Na Božič jutro je to.
Aj že naredil prepis z malenko za staro hišo?
Ne, ni.
Kako?
Ne.
Za hišo v Kanadi, kdaj je naredil? Kaj?
On ni nič naredil, on jo je prodal hišo.
Marlenka mu je dala, ker je Milis je še jokal, da če bi vedel, da sem jaz tak, da ne bi nikoli očetu pomagal in tako naprej. Sem imel v Mariboru garbo zato, da se rabe tam kupala se. Ja.
To je Božič.
Zdaj samo tukaj, da veš, kdo je lastnik te hiše.
To je dobro jutro.
In na njega več ne boš rekla, kaj Urška pa Urška pa tako.
Urška po
Nikaj ne više.
Urška je po biserki dedič, tako kot si ti.
Da ste videli, kakšni dediči ste. Pače, da pa ti še domov pa šel. Nič ni klas.
Škoda besed.
This is precisely in how the Slovenes solve their criminal dilemmas. This is how they do it. This is how they like to do things. That's how it shall be, and it will be, and it will be. And we'll see what it will be and what it will not be. I'm going to play this one more time, folks. You already heard everything. It's the same shit. I'm going to play you over again. And I'm going to simply do this because I had this sign on here. I'm not supposed to have this crap on. I wanted you to see this recording, this whole thing. And make sure that everything is here. That's the image, and then you have okay. Alright, that's this. What about this? Okay, it's about the same thing. Yeah, I'm gonna play you one more time this stuff. I like it. I really like this shit. Yeah, I really like. This is what this shit was twisting around. That's how they wanted. They wanted to portray me as somebody who is a possessive son of a bitch and is pushing away from home and father and mother and etc, etc, etc. I tell you what, father, I really do not know what to do with the father. He is involved in a lot of crime, and simply I had to save him. You know, he is my father. I mean, it's just as simple as this. But at the same time, what he did, the way they did these things, is very, very criminal. This is very, very criminal. It's gutsy. It's disgusting, his conduct. It's very, very criminal. When I think about this stuff, what they have done with me and the way they mistreated, And at the same time, they put him in a position of somebody. My mother told me just yesterday when she came home. I did post it this year. You know, they make things so impossible. They made things so impossible for me. With so many threats, they're gonna kill him at any time and that stuff. This kind of stuff here. This stuff here. They drove completely insane, and they continue to drive completely insane. Presented this case that this case never existed. Jews smelled their money in this crime. Jews, American Jews like Roseanne Barr, like entire jury, like Mark Cuban, like all of these Jews that were coming here because of this stuff here, because these Slovenian animals reported to them this stuff. They communicated about all these issues, how they're going to do this. The American garbage involving this stuff, like Roseanne Barr insisted, you're going to need Jews. You're going to need Jews. She was using the other guy. The other day I posted a video to remind me of brainwash during MKLH, or how I'm going to need Jews about all this stuff that went on. They definitely contributed to this stuff with their criminal attitude. Like, they smelled, basically, the Jews basically smelled the blood. You know, when they smell the blood like a sharks, they smell the blood that you are in trouble. And that's basically, they want to purchase your soul. They want to suck your soul out. And they want to turn you into another corpse, basically. They can do with it whatever the fuck they want. I wouldn't be in this shit. It was not for London and for Americans. They smelt the blood. That's why the way Americans, I should say, Jew-Americans and Britons, British, Le Royale from London, the way they solve issues like this, the way they pay for the patriotism, for the service, for the slavery, is they develop stuff like this. When they smell the blood, they don't go away. They go and they go and they go and they drown you more and more and more and more, and demand from you to shut up, to be silent about it, till you're actually rotten away, till they fucking kill you in some fucking country over there known as Slovenia. You know, the circumstances that you watch this stuff, under circumstances, the way this stuff was done literally with the American Juden, with the Judlerei, the global Judlerei, Jews from Israel, Knessets, and American Jews from the US Congress. Blumenthal's, Biden's, watch the Chuck Schumer's, and so on. It's a long fucking list of those billionaires, millionaires, and so on garbage that Donald Trump was delivering here to this house. Not only Donald Trump, but they were coming here. You know, Chuck Schumer was just as big as Donald Trump. It's a long fucking line of this garbage. Try to get Americans on board. You got to understand that when it's going to be your turn under this type of circumstances, it's going to be every beggar in America that is going to come in front of you. Every issue, your case, that's why, therefore, the reto will never be solved. This is what they bet on. You got to understand the circumstances. You got to pay respect to the Jew. You got to pay respect to the Jew by giving out the truth. So they can go out back and claim again, anti-Semitism. You fucking animals. It's important to me, this stuff. It's important to stress why this shit have come such a long way, this stuff.
Ti se reče, da ima Urska, nisi vedel, še piše kot domomest, ne?
Ja.
Veš, da to piše lastnik te hiše je?
Hoče.
Lastnik te hiše je tist,
Hoče.
preko koga je potek dobil prepis tiste stare hiše.
You fucking kurva židovska. In the end, you stay even without your fucking home. You become a fucking ghost in your own fucking home in some other country. So the Jew can get his way done things. You fucking parasites. You fucking talk to me about the Adolf Hitler, and you fucking talk to me about the Nazi Germany. I fucking hate it. But you? No fucking wonder the whole fucking world fell apart. No fucking wonder 70 million got killed because of you, scum.
In lastnik tiste hiše tukaj je tist, preko koga ste vi na začetku dobila posojila za nakup te hiše, in lastnik te hiše je tist, koga boste plačali z obrestmi, ki je bil tukaj tuh noter, do danes, do 2025. Tisto je lastnik. Tist, katerega ste garbali, da so dobili posojila, denar pa take stvari. Tisto je lastnik. In to te bom tudi spomnil, zakaj ste očeta pa noter dali. Ne bo pomagalo nič.
Kdo pa je pol ta lastnik? Je še vedno
Bo še vedela, kdo je lastnik.
Ja, je še vedno ne bi.
Kdo bo se ve, kdo je lastnik. Aha.
To je za dobro jutro na Božič. Na Božič jutro je to.
Ja, vaša naredila prepis z malenko za staro hišo.
Ne, ni.
Tako?
Ne.
Za hišo v Kanadi, kdaj je naredil? Kaj?
On ni nič naredil, on jo je prodal hišo.
Malenka mu je dala, ker je Milis je šli opet, da če bi vedel, da se vmes tak, da ne bi nikoli očetu pomagal in tako naprej. Smo imeli v Mariboru garbo, zato da se s tem parabili tam tudi pola stvari. Ja.
To je Božič.
Zdaj samo tukaj, da veš, kdo je lastnik te hiše.
To je dobro jutro.
In na njega več ne boš rekla, kaj je Urška pa biser pa tako.
Urška po
Njega da više.
Urška je po biserki dedič, tako kot si ti.
Boste videli, kakšni dediči ste.
Ah, da je to zdaj.
Pače bo pa ti še domov prišel. Nič ni konc. Tu je.
Škoda, da se...
This entire crime, everything that took place because of my family, because of my niece, because of this kind of shit. This entire crime was cooked by the Slovenes and by the Jews and by others who also smell blood and didn't want anything about it to come out. This is the way the CIA does. This is the payment. This is the kind of money CIA pays. You want to know how CIA pays for MK Ultra slavery? That you got a perfect example. There you go. That was a 48 years of slavery. This is how I got paid. 49 actually.